The show did break me. There did come a time where I was like, I need to have a break. I disappeared. I went to Mexico for a week and had some time on a beach.
Have you ever heard about Danny's exhausting journey while filming his show? Imagine the struggle of constantly visiting different places, keeping up with a unique haircut, and shooting scenes on the bustling streets of New York. It sounds like quite the challenge. As Danny himself admits, the show was far from easy to make. About halfway through, he found himself eagerly counting down the days until he could finally take a year off and enjoy some well-deserved time to himself. So think about it. We've all seen Tom Holland swinging through the streets as Peter Parker, right? He's always been this energetic, quick-thinking hero who saves the day with his cool moves and funny one-liners. But now, something different happened. He decided to try something new, something totally out of his comfort zone. He took on this role in a show called The Crowded Room. And let me tell you, it wasn't like anything he'd done before. Instead of being a superhero, he had to play someone with a lot of problems in their head. It wasn't easy for him. Not at all. It really pushed him to his limits, you know? It made him feel things he'd never felt before. He even said it felt like he was falling into a dark pit, just trying to bring this character to life. It's pretty intense, right? So let's take a closer look at what happened behind the scenes and how this role changed Tom Holland in ways we never expected. Tom Holland, at 27 years old, managed to capture our hearts with his portrayal of Peter Parker in the beloved Spider-Man film series. Despite initial skepticism from critics about whether an English lad could embody the iconic superhero, Holland silenced all doubts with his undeniable charisma. Over the years, he's taken on the role of Spider-Man in numerous movies, winning over fans with his wit and charm. Now anticipation is high for his return in Spider-Man 4, slated for release in 2025. A while back, Tom Holland made a daring departure from his typical heroic image, opting instead for a role that promised greater complexity. Yes, he ventured into the realm of the new Apple TV Plus series, The Crowded Room. Tom Holland's portrayal in The Crowded Room marks a significant departure from his previous roles, delving into darker psychological realms. In this film, he tackles the challenging role of a man arrested for a 1979 shooting, immersing himself in the gritty and psychologically intense narrative. Acting may seem like a glamorous job from the outside, but portraying complex characters who have done terrible things can be emotionally taxing. Tom Holland's experience playing such a character in The Crowded Room took a toll on him, pushing him to his limits and making it difficult to separate himself from the character's perspective. This intense immersion led him to decide to take a break from acting altogether. Despite the immense challenge posed by his role,
Danny, shoot! Danny, come on!
Tom Holland found an extraordinary opportunity in producing The Crowded Room, marking a significant milestone in his career. Reflecting on his experience during filming, Tom expressed his enthusiasm for the learning curve that comes with being a producer. He emphasized his familiarity with hard work, embracing the notion that diligence yields valuable results. However, he candidly admitted that despite his enjoyment of the production process, the series ultimately took a heavy toll on him, acknowledging that it left him feeling broken. After wrapping up filming for the series, Tom felt the weight of emotional exhaustion pressing down on him. "I reached a point where I realized I need a break," he explained. So, he vanished for a week, escaping to the sunny shores of Mexico to decompress and recharge.
The show did break me. There did come a time where I was like, I need to have a break. I disappeared. I went to Mexico for a week and had some time on a beach.
Now he's decided to take a whole year off, a direct response to the immense challenge of working on The Crowded Room. This hiatus isn't just about physical rest. It's about finding inner peace and replenishing his spirit after grappling with the intense demands of the show. Balancing the challenges of portraying such intense feelings with the responsibilities of producing added another layer of stress. Despite this, he found fulfillment in the experience, embracing the opportunity for growth and learning that came with it. So, you know that show, The Crowded Room with Tom Holland? Fans loved it, but critics weren't so thrilled, giving it a lousy 26% on Rotten Tomatoes. When Tom announced he was taking a break, some folks thought it was because of the bad reviews, but hold your horses! Tom set the record straight on Live with Kelly and Mark. He spilled the beans that he made the call to chill out long before the reviews even came out. In fact, he was already months into his downtime when those reviews hit. He even joked about it, saying he's been living it up in London, watching Grand Prix, growing a beard, and swinging some golf clubs. So, it turns out those rumors were just a load of baloney. Even though The Crowded Room got some flack from critics, Tom Holland isn't letting that rain on his parade. Instead, he's shouting out a big thank you to his fans and supporters. He's all smiles about the 94% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, giving props to the awesome folks who've had his back. Tom's feeling the love from his fan base and can't wait to keep rocking it in the rest of the series. Now that's the spirit. Tom really went through it with this role, like he got so wrapped up in playing this character that it kind of messed with his head. He even had this moment at home where he was like, I gotta shave my head to shake off this character. But then he was like, nah, that's too extreme. It was just unlike anything he's ever dealt with before. So here's the scoop on what really went down in the series to hit Tom so hard. It's all about this character, Danny Sullivan, played by Tom Holland, who's accused of some pretty serious stuff. Picture this, it's 1979, and the story delves deep into Danny's mind through a bunch of interviews with this professor named Rhea Goodwin, played by Amanda Seyfried. The whole vibe is a psychological thriller, And get this, it's based on real events, inspired by a book called The Minds of Billy Milligan by Daniel Keyes. Now this book tells the tale of Billy Milligan, who made history by being the first person found not guilty due to dissociative identity disorder. But The Crowded Room isn't just a straight-up retelling of that story. Nope. The creator, Akiva Goldsman, wanted to create a character you'd really connect with, so you'd be right there with Danny on his journey. So, let's get into the nitty-gritty of what went down with Billy Milligan. Back in 1977, he got nabbed for some serious crimes: kidnapping, robbery, and rape of 3 women near the Ohio State University campus. But here's where it gets twisted. Milligan starts pointing fingers, saying a guy named Reagan was behind the robberies, while a woman named Adelana did the rape. The whole story's like a puzzle, right? During psychiatric evaluations after his arrest, nobody could make sense of what Milligan was rattling on about. But when his trial rolled around, doctors figured out something wild. Milligan had 10 different personalities living inside his head. And get this, these personalities popped up as a result of brutal abuse he supposedly endured as a kid from his stepfather. So, what's the deal with Billy Milligan? Well, he got off the hook for his crimes because the court said he was insane due to having multiple personalities. It was a big deal at the time and still gets people talking today. After that, Milligan spent some time in mental hospitals, but he pulled off a daring escape and started a new life under a different name. Things got sketchy when his roommate disappeared and Milligan was suspected of foul play. Cops eventually caught up with him and he ended up back in a hospital. Eventually, doctors said he wasn't a danger anymore, but sadly he died of cancer in 2014. It's a pretty messed up story and it's no wonder it hit Tom so hard. Let's hope he can bounce back after his break and keep crushing it in his roles. Drop some good vibes for Tom in the comments and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more on Tom Holland. See you next time!